All right, I'm back for Dust TS's ongoing coverage of Fragadelphia CS. I'm here with Experative from Team Lag following their qualification to playoffs. To start, how do you guys feel like you did in Group A, I believe? You guys pretty much ran through it relatively easily, right?
Yeah, I think it went pretty how we were expecting. Like, still, it could be like easier, but like I think it was fine. Like, it was one-sided, like almost every map. So
And this is another chapter in what has been has been a very successful last 6 months for you guys in the sense that we saw you do very well at Fragicago, we saw the team make ECL, and now we're already in playoffs here in Philadelphia. To start, how do you feel about making ECL in sort of your first season of advanced playoffs?
and I think we were expecting it because we were like screaming against like most of the ECL teams like last season, then other advanced playoff teams, and we were like doing pretty good in scrims, and we were expecting to qualify, but it was obviously like hard because like you never know what will happen like during an important matches like in qualification matches. But I think we deserve to be in ACL, and yeah, we made it, and we were like really happy when we managed to do it.
And more broadly, how do you feel about the team's progress? I believe before being signed by Lag, you guys have been together for around a year at this point. So since then, of course, making ECL, doing well on LAN, sort of getting the team all together. But how would you rate the team's progress since forming this core?
Yeah, I joined this team like during end of the summer. I think it was around September, and like by then I think we made like pretty good progress. And I would say as an IGL, like I have a structure, and I'm doing lots of like sometimes micromanagement for our team. Then I have a game plan for like almost every map, I would say. So it's been, I think, going pretty well, and also like players are feeling really comfortable with my calls and calling style because they are telling me that I have been IGL for like EU teams for past 5 years, and I haven't changed myself, I would say. And like my teammates are happy that like we are playing in kind of EU structure.
Now, you mentioned being in IGL for such a long time in Europe. What prompted you to move to America?
It's for study actually. I'm doing masters here in around like Boston, and yeah, it's for study.
Now, looking at the CS sort of side of things, what do you feel are the main differences from having played in like the European main and intermediate scene now going into the North American advanced and ECL scenes?
Yeah, I would say the biggest difference is like here, people are just defaulting like most of the rounds, whereas EU teams has like more micro things or like set things like set strats, and IGL calling like more specific things rather than like just defaulting. Because like most of the time like in NA, like whenever we scream or playing officials, like it's a little bit like readable, like they're just think like most of the rounds like same thing, and it's like I think it's the biggest difference compared to EU and NA. And also I would say like the mental difference, like EU has a little bit like better mentality, like going through like important games or matches. Like EU players, I think they are feeling like more comfortable before games.
Do you think that gives you a big advantage having? Excuse me. Do you think that gives you a big advantage coming into this scene and running more set pieces instead of just defaulting overall? Do you think you kind of have the leg up on most of these NAECL teams?
Yeah, definitely. I think like this season in ECL we should be able to qualify for playoffs. At least like this is our main goal for this season, and I think we have been like doing pretty good in for our officials and also like in our scrims. Like we are pretty structured and disciplined team, and that's been like pretty useful for our results, and also like my teammates are happy with the way we approached towards the game.
Something I find interesting about your career trajectory is unlike a lot. One moment. Something I find interesting about your career trajectory is unlike a lot of Turkish players, it seems like you went international pretty early in your career. Was it a conscious decision on your part?
Yeah, it was actually a little bit my decision. Even though like I was getting like offer from top Turkish teams, I decided to stick with the international rosters because like I had a pretty good network around like EU players, like from CIS, like from Denmark, or like all around the EU. So I had like good opportunities. Like I was just mixing with qualifiers with FPL and FPLC players. So I decided to go with international rosters.
One of those international rosters I think you were most known for in your time for Europe was the organization ESC. What can you tell me about your time with that squad? I believe one of the players was obviously you and then H Monster. But what was your main recollections of your time with that squad?
Yeah, actually, we have been playing like most of the times main playoffs, and like 2 seasons in a row, we couldn't make it to advanced in the last game, and we kind of choked like 2 seasons in a row. But I think it was like really good experience for like everyone in the team. Like we had a good players like Case and Nitsi who are playing for Hotu right now. Then Shiro, he was playing for Sov. Then like it was, I would say, like pretty good experience for me and for the team. And I think even though we couldn't make it to advanced, we had a really good results, like because in EU like there are like lots of competitions, like lots of other leagues, other tournaments, and we got like some trophies in EU. So it was like pretty fun, I would say.
Finally, with everything, with all the considerations of the quality of teams here, your squad's experience, and all of that, what is the expectation for you here at Fragadelphia CS do? Is it to win the event outright?
Yeah, like to be honest, I'm expecting to win this event like without dropping a single map, and like we should be able to dominate like all maps, especially like since we also have a good map pool. I would say, I think we should be able to dominantly win this event.
All right, that is Experative from Team Lag. We'll see them in playoffs in action starting tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.